afternoon. I am Charles Leister. I'm senior pastor of New Beginning Christian Center. I serve as a member of the Steering Committee and Housing Committee for the BREAD organization. We started our housing efforts in the fall of 2017 after hundreds of our members shared about housing struggles. As we dug into research on this problem, we found that over 50,000 low-income families in Franklin County spent more than half of their paychecks on housing. The people in these families make less than $42,000 a year. They work as child care providers, restaurant workers, janitorial staff. They are the people represented by the signs behind me. They struggle to afford housing in this community. Is this acceptable? No. They are seniors receiving senior Social Security and adults with disabilities. When the pandemic began, these families continued to struggle. You'll now hear one or two stories from members of our congregations who have been impacted. Thank you, Brenda. We appreciate your testimony. The other testimony we had today, but because of an emergency, was not able to be with us. But I'd like to share my own personal testimony relating to senior citizens who are on a fixed income. I'm of the age 70 that I am on Social Security and a small retirement. But what we experiencing is after we sold our home in July, that looking for a apartment short term while we were looking for or building another home, we found that the expense of the apartment was more than I was paying for our home. And that if I only considered my Social Security and that of my wife and our small retirement from the school system, that we would be close to 50% of our income going toward housing. The typical recommended budget is it's only a third of your income should be for housing expense. So we were shocked at the sticker price. And then when the apartment complex came back and said, if you want a short-term lease, the lease would increase by $500 a month. This was, for us, unacceptable. because of the income of a fixed income for seniors and for those with disabilities. So there's many stories out there concerning the struggles of finding affordable housing that is safe, reasonable, and healthy. In 2019, the city of Columbus and Franklin County quickly came up with over $200 million to build this new stadium for the Crew. They gave the soccer team a new house. That same year in 2019, Columbus voters approved a $50 million bond that was supposed to be used for affordable housing. At that time, the city had no plans on how that funding would be spent. To date, the city still has clearly over $40 million of that fund left, and we have heard of no plan, effective plan, on how to use that money. Let me be clear. The Bread organization is not against the Crew soccer team. What we find outrageous is that the city and county can give the soccer team a new house, and thousands of our people still don't have a house, or a house they can afford. Is this acceptable? No! That's why we're here today. Bread has a plan. We have a plan on how to use the remainder of the bond package for affordable housing. We have a plan for millions and millions of dollars that Columbus and Franklin County will be receiving through the American Rescue Plan. We have a plan for a sustained way to fund affordable housing. We want to see the remainder of the bond package sent to the Affordable Housing Trust as grants for developers bringing housing for people who have less than $42,000 a year. We stand with housing advocates in saying that 1/3 of the American Rescue Plan dollars should be used for building affordable housing for people who make less than $42,000 a year. As for sustained funding, we want the city and county to increase their annual investments to the Affordable Housing Trust. We want to see housing developers prioritize building more affordable housing. We want the Columbus City Council to implement a plan based on best practices from around the country in order to make this happen. Much of what I'm announcing today is not new. We have been pushing the City Council and Franklin County Commissioners for solutions. In 2019, we saw some success as Franklin County Commissioners committed to dedicate an additional $6.5 million to affordable housing each year. We celebrate that effort. You might have to tell people, yes, let's celebrate. As we know that the city has made efforts to increase affordable housing and make sure that people are not discriminated against when they have housing vouchers, we celebrate that as well. However, this is not enough. As the pandemic increases and continues, housing has gotten more expensive. Hundreds of families each week end up in the eviction court. We will keep pushing for solutions at the Nehemiah Action on May 11th. This is our largest event of the year, where thousands of community residents push for solutions. We have people gathered safely in their vehicles in the parking lot of First Church of God on Refugee Road. We'll have thousands of people watching safely from home. We have invited Franklin County Commissioner Kevin Boyce and Columbus City Council member Shayla Faber to the Nehemiah Action to respond to our solutions. So far, Councilmember Faber has agreed to attend. Commissioner Boyce has declined to attend unless something changes in his schedule. We want Commissioner Boyce to change his mind. For more information on this affordable housing can be found in the press packets that we have now provided to the press here as well as in their offices. Are there any questions? If not, oh, I'm sorry. We're here today because when we're speaking with City Council and the County Commissioners, they have found a way to come up with $200 million to assist in the building of the new Crew Stadium. And although we're not against the Crew team or the people of Columbus who support the Crew, we understand that's $200 million, and we have a housing crisis within the city of Columbus and Franklin County that we can't find the money to begin to put a dent in. And so that's why we're here at the new stadium. Yeah, the $50 million bond that was voted on by the people was earmarked to be provided for affordable housing. To date, after over 2 years, after that bond has been passed, where only $11 million has been assigned to affordable housing. And the years of that bond are coming to an end, and we feel it's critical that we have a definite plan and a definite way of using that money for those that are most in need of affordable housing. So if there's no other questions, let me close with this. I was running some statistics. We found that over 54,000 families in Central Ohio pay more than 50% of their income for affordable housing. If each family had an average of 4 members of that household, that would equate to 216,000 people within Central Ohio. That also then, when you take the population of the city, would be 24% of the population of Columbus paying more than 50% of their income to housing. If you take in effect the county and the suburban areas, 19% of the population would pay more than 50% of their income to housing. This is significant. We found from the Alliance, Affordable Housing Alliance, and others, that between $850 million or $1 billion is needed to address the crisis of affordable housing in Central Ohio. If we were to use what they've allocated from the county and from the city on an annual basis, it would take us 170 to 200 years to address the problem, to repair the problem. This is unacceptable. We see then what we're asking for is 1/3 of the new plan, the ARP plan from the federal government, 1/3, which is what the budget for housing is, to be allocated for affordable housing. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your interest. And if you need any further information or statistics, the packet provides that, as well as I can provide a copy of these statistics. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. God bless.